Until I black out, I'm not gonna be able to tell. I know older brother's downstairs because I could feel his energy strong, so I can feel it. But I can't tell if Flowers is here or not. Anyhow, if he was here, I would know. Like I would feel it, but I can't tell if he's here. He's probably buying me time because look, I can record now and no one's bothering me. You know, you guys never notice that every time I get bothered, Flowers isn't here, so he's got to be somewhere nearby. Anyhow, um, I just can't feel him as strong as usual. But anyhow, I dreamt before he came back. I dreamt the moon goddess came to visit me, right? And she doesn't visit me unless I did something hella annoying, right? But this time I didn't do anything wrong. She came to tell me I was really happy to see her because I'm like, I keep seeing, like, I know all these people want to come, they're like interested to come and see me, but it's nice to see someone I know. You know what I mean? So she comes to see me, and I'm all happy because I'm like, oh, thank God, someone I know. Like, you know, like when you're around someone you know for a while, like you feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to behave a certain, like, she knows me, so I don't have to act a certain way, right? Like you can relax. So she comes to see me, and I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, what the hell? What I do now? She comes to see me, and um, she's like, I'm on vacation. And I was like, what? She said, remember this happened before. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, I know you don't come here often, right? You guys have to be stupid if you think, like, Moon Goddess is gonna be on Earth's moon, right? She's not on that one. She doesn't come visit often. A lot of the higher beings don't. They won't. None of us like it here. They're not gonna come. But anyhow, she came to tell me I'm going on vacation. I'm like, oh, that's nice, right? So she's telling me how like she's all excited, she's all dressed up, she's gonna go on vacation. So she said she's coming to see me before she goes. The only reason she came here that one time is because she said, remember I told you like, oh, fuck, I feel crazy talking about this because this is stuff I never talk about with anyone. Hmm. Yeah, I told you guys the story of how I met her, right? So like that time when I met her, she said the only reason she came to Earth's moon that time was because she said she saw something sparkly, right? Because she was referring to me. So she was telling me how like she remembered that memory, and she said before she goes off on vacation this time and sees some next shit, she said it reminded her of me. So she came to see me first before she was gonna go. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. I'm like, because it didn't make any like she was there to witness that day, right? And I was like, okay, hopefully you don't go witness some other shit when you go on vacation. Um, but then she didn't leave, and I'm like, what's up? Why aren't you going? Right? Isn't that all you came for? Just to tell me like, like just to tell me that because I know she's on break, right? Um, then she started telling me this story before she left. She said, I'll explain it to you in a way that it would kind of make sense to you. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? Because now the tone gets serious, right? She's all like happy and stuff, ready to go on vacation, and then it gets serious because she's like, I need to tell you something. And I was like, okay. She said, you know the story of Adam and Eve, and I was like, oh my god, where's this going? She said, oh man, I'm gonna butcher her words, but I remember her saying something around the lines of like, you remember where Eve was made from? And I was like, yeah. Then as I'm trying to piece together what she's saying, I start getting more and more upset, and I'm like, that. Oh God. Because now it's becoming problematic. She told me to think about it before she left. The blood moon just happened, so like now vacation's over. She's probably gonna go back to work now. That's why I can talk about it now. It was a really awful conversation to have. Because she said, because I was telling her, I'm like, oh, see, like, how do I explain this now? This is so fucking weird to say out loud. I don't know who believes in this shit, but like, you know how like they say, okay, Adam was like the first person, right? And then they said he was lonely, so God made him another person, or like, I don't know the story, but she's trying to explain it to me in a way that I would understand. um, they say Eve was made from his rib, right? And I'm like, whose judgment call was that? Was that his or God's? Right? Because according to God, according to the story, God said he was lonely, so he made him a partner, right? From him. And I'm like, if he, like, did he ever have self love issues? Was he okay being alone? Does Eve know all the turmoil he's going through? Like, I'm having all of these existential questions coming up in my head now. Suppose Eve wasn't necessary. Suppose, according to the story, right, they say he was lonely. But suppose, like, he was in pain. Right? Suppose, like, the only way God could save Adam's life was to remove that rib. And then that rib turned into a person. Like all your pain formed into like a new being, right? But she doesn't know that, right? All she knows is that she's got a strong connection to Adam, right? um how the fuck am I supposed to explain this? There's too many perspectives involved. Like, I don't know who's at fault here. Like, if the original story where he's lonely is the correct story, then that means Adam's at fault, right? But then if it's in the case where it's like he's dying and God didn't want him to die because he's the first human, then it's God's fault, right? So now, like, in the story now, I feel bad for Eve. Because she doesn't know one thing going on. She just knows she's got a strong connection to Adam. Like, that's her purpose of her existence. Right? I think it's the second story. As she's telling me the story, it sounds like he was in pain. God removed the pain, but then didn't tell Adam that he turned his pain into something. I can't even finish that sentence. It reminds me of how it reminds me of how I explained to you guys about like shoes, right? Oh, let me explain this now. For anybody who just wants to like talk about random shit, okay? Because this is what's going through my head. Oh, okay. Most people, when they're with other people and the relationships don't work out, is like it feels like you're barefoot, right? And I told you, like, when you're with your match, you're like a pair of shoes, right? I explained that to you guys already. So most people walking around barefoot because they're doing this, that, and the other, right? I can't remember. You got the mismatched shoes. You got the bare shoe, like barefoot, mismatched shoes, mismatched shoes. I can't remember. I remember telling me this. Two different, completely different material, everything. Then the other one, they're like exactly the same. And then, fuck, I can't remember the order. Barefoots, people who aren't with the right person. If the shoes match, it's usually soulmate, right? Because the shoes are the exact same, so it's not gonna hurt. Then, right, they're exactly the same material, same style, same everything. Then you've got like two completely different shoes that don't mesh. You have two different ones, the exact same, and then two different, but they're same. I think that's how it goes. So barefoot is people who don't even know what kind of shoe they are. Then mismatched shoes don't work either. Like say you're like a boot and a heel, or like a fuck like a high heel and a sneaker. Those shoes aren't gonna go together because they're already like offset. Then you would have um two shoes that match. Then you'd have two shoes that are different but the same. So like they could be like two boots, but like they're different boots. One could be leather and one could be suede, right? But they're boots and they kind of mesh together. Then the top tier one, the twin flame one's always gonna be I'm mixing it up. Like it's hurting my head thinking about this because I talked to them about this when I was asleep. Twin flame exactly the same but it's different. So it'd be the boots, right? Right? Like you'd have two boots, two completely different boots, but one of them's like a different. They're both different material, but they're closely aligned enough where like it works. That's twin flame. Soulmates, like they're exactly the same, and then you have mismatched in between. I forget what that one is. So some of you are like, uh, right person, wrong time. I don't believe in that shit, right? If it's the right person, they're there at the right time. Like, how do I explain this without pissing off a whole bunch of you watching this? Okay, everybody has options, right? Because I'm talking about the tier now, right? You've got soulmate, whatever, twin, right? You got all of that. You got options, right? Most people don't end up with the same person every lifetime because they're not at that stage, right? Like you come back because you're learning different things. Like suppose you're here and the person you're supposed to be with is here, right? Until they do the work, you guys are never gonna line up shoe wise. You know what I'm saying? They could be barefooted and you could be whatever shoe, right? But it's never gonna work. So you keep going through it until you guys end up at the same level. That's what I'm trying to. Oh, that's the point. You don't end up at the same level until the end. So some of you are like, why in the fuck is my love life so terrible? And I was like, bitch, you're not at the end yet. Maybe you're here and the person's here, or your person's here and you're here, and you gotta get through the shit before you guys reach up here, right? So it's like it's not gonna be smooth sailing the whole time. Ah. There's also some cases where like the shoes are worn out, right? And then sometimes like I told you energy cyclic, so then they come back to the barefoot stage until they like level up to what they need to be. Okay, anyways, that's the conversation I was having with her when she showed up, right? It was going all nice, and then I felt upset after hearing that. And then God came to see me after that, right? And I was like, oh shit, here we go again. What the fuck you want now? I don't know if he gets jealous when she comes to see me, you know, because, you know, I have such a close relationship with her and I don't with him. I was like, just fucking go away. I can't remember what I wrote here. I was like half asleep when I wrote this. But anyhow, yeah, he comes to see me now, right? I don't remember. It had to be more than 2 days, or like 2 days onward. I don't remember. I remember the next day, like nobody was here. She comes to see me. Then I get like a break for a day, trying to like process what she was telling me. Then he comes to see me, and I'm like, why the hell are you here? um. I can't remember how it went. Fuck. Like when I have these dreams, I should tell you guys as soon as I have them. But then I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna affect how you guys are doing things. Anyways, he comes to see me. Then I'm telling him like why my head feels so heavy because I was telling him what I was talking about with her. And then he told me this year's gonna be really bad. Because I could hear screaming, and as I can hear this screaming, because I can feel my hearing kick in, and I hear screaming, and I'm telling him what's going on. Then he comes near me and he covers my ears like this. He told me to keep headphones in, and I'm like, I don't want to. I don't like having them on anymore. He told me not to listen to the screams, and he told me he'll be back after he takes care of them. Right? He said it's gonna be a bad year because all of us spiritual people, we're all gonna like really fucking suffer. I feel like a lot of them are gonna die this year. I told you guys I can't see past 2027, right? So like I don't have long left either. But anyhow, yeah, he said it's gonna be a bad year, right? And I told him like, cause I don't listen to anything he says. Cause he told me before he left, he told me don't listen to the screams, right? But like if you hear someone in pain, you're not gonna go help them, right? But like he told me not to intervene, so he drowned out the screams. And then I told him I'm not gonna listen, and he said I'll give you back a week's worth of time if you do what I tell you to right now. And I was like, oh, you mean it? Because he never negotiates with time, right? So I was like, okay, you got it. It's a deal. um. So before he left, he grabbed my hands and then he went like this. He did something Like my hands felt like a like you know when you think of like the machinery and the clocks, like that's how it felt. Like it felt like he put a key in there, did something. Like he didn't even put a key. It just felt like he I don't think he touched me with his hands, but it felt like as soon as he got close enough to my hands, it felt like something shifted. And then I felt the energy in my hands turn off from like here to here. So I haven't been able to read since. He took away my ability to read, and um he told me I'm not supposed to read you guys. That's why he turned off my hands. He told me not to do anything until he gets back. He said if you do anything and I got more work to do, he's so he must be really busy because he hasn't come back yet. It didn't hurt or anything. It feels like I don't know how to explain the feeling. Like I don't know how to explain. Because I don't know what to compare it to. Like, you know, if you sit on your legs too long, they go numb. Like that feeling, and you're used to that feeling. Like it felt like he turned that off. Like if I'm sitting for like this for this long, like I don't feel the numbness. Like that's how like my hands feel. Like they feel like they're not working right, but they don't hurt. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, he turned off my hands. I can't read, and he's told me not to read you guys, and not to do anything until he gets back. And then I've been thinking about since he's gonna come back. I don't know whether to ask him his life story or like because he's only giving me a week worth of time, right? I'm like I could use that to hibernate, or I could ask them if mom hibernate. I can ask them one question, right? Because I keep seeing this woman in my sleep, right? And I think she's the one that made me because I keep seeing her now. So like when he comes back, I think if she's still around, I want to go talk to her. Like I want to ask her what the hell he said when he had you make me. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things like I want to ask. You guys asked me a lot of good questions too. You asked me mm, like age wise. Like I don't feel time with him when he's around. Like with you guys, I feel the soul thing, right? I'm talking so much, I'm losing my voice again. Yeah, I feel the soul thing. Like I can feel when I'm older, younger than somebody, but when I'm around them, I don't feel age. The other thing too is like I like for them, since there's no time. You guys said you don't feel time move when you're with me, right? Like it feels like time stops, but for me, like I hate that feeling. Um, when I'm around you guys, the only time I feel time move is when when Christian's there, right? So like then things start feeling normal. I can't remember what the other thing you guys were telling me was. The beings we consider gods, you guys don't look at. They don't look at themselves that way. One of the I was telling him before. I was telling God before he left. I was like, I wanna. Um, I told you guys about this. One of the other beings that was there, he's rude, but like he's like honest. I told God I'm gonna leave his side for a bit to go see what, just to go spend time with this guy, right? I don't think he'd be pissed because I told him I want to prove my point. Cause I remember him. I remember this guy saying, um, like there's them, and then the reason he had me made is like I would be like a pet. So then, if I'm a pet, what does that make you guys then? You're of lower tier than me. I didn't understand what he was saying until like all this shit started happening, and then I'm like, oh, he was right. But like now, when like last time he was here to talk to me, he said I was right, and I'm like, I was telling God, I'm like, I'm gonna leave your side to go spend time with him because I'm like, I don't like the fact that we both can't be right, and I'm like, we both can't be right at the same time. So I'm gonna go prove my point because if I don't want to be right in this situation. Then I need to talk to the lady that created me because I keep seeing her. If she's there, I don't know. Everything's so fucked up. God makes one fucking idiotic decision and then everybody's gotta suffer for it. Idiot. Ugh. I can't wait to go back. When I go back, I'm gonna cuss him up. You better have earplugs in. That's a good use for the headphones. Ah. I don't know if they eat like normal. I never asked. I know they take the offerings, but they're like, it doesn't taste good. Oh yeah, and then when I'm dead, you guys make sure this goes with me. I'm gonna leave it on his desk. He'll never use it, but at least he'll remember it's there. I'm gonna tell him you guys used my energy and made that. At least one good thing came out of being here. Yeah, so he did that to my hands, right? Then he left. So when he comes back, I get 1 week of human time. So I get to see what I get to do. That's not gonna be pleasant though. I'm gonna be really fucking tired. Okay, so then after that happens, like a day, like it's less than 2 days later now, right? Like maybe half a day or a day later, then Flowers comes back, right? And I was like, Flowers, what the hell, where you been? And he's like, Lisa, what the hell happened? Um, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I know God was here. I was talking to him. And I was like, what in the hell? I was like, he saw me and then he went to go see you and then he left. Like, what the hell happened now? So then he's like, tell me everything that happened. And I was like, well, this, and this happened. And I was like, he did something weird to my hands. I told him, I'm like, he did something weird to my hands. And he said I can't listen to the screaming. He told me to cover my ears. And he said, I get a week of time if I do what he says. So then Flowers is over here and he's like, I'd never seen that expression on Flowers' face before. The first thing he did was he grabbed my hand, right? And he's like, Lisa, look. And I was like, what? And then he's like, look. Because I'm like, I'm still not paying attention. I was like, I can't get over the way you're looking at me right now. He's like, look. And I'm like, oh my God, you can touch me now. And he said, yeah, that's why I'm back now. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I told you guys when Flowers and them were here, they can't touch me, right? Because I feel pain. But he's physically touching my hand now. Alright? And I'm like, oh my God, that can't be fucking good. So like he made me closer to the spirits than to you guys now, right? So I'm like, oh fucking hell. So like I've been having visitors nonstop showing up here. So then Flowers he hasn't let go of my hand. Every time like I'm asleep, I can feel him nearby because he's like, I won't let anyone else touch you. That's not fair. I was like, what in the fuck, you weirdo? Who's I didn't agree to this shit. Who thought that was a fucking good idea? Yeah, so we've been having visitors nonstop. Man's not letting go of my hands. And yeah, I can't read right now. But I've been having a lot of spirit visitors. He's not letting them touch me because it's rude. So then after I have that dream, I was like, it's gonna be a really fucking pain when I sleep or when I'm near like spiritual places because of this nonsense. But I'm like, my energy is more towards the spirits now and not people. So then I'm like, I need to test this now. So now, like, when I'm near the others, I'm around living people now. I go to touch them, and I'm like, I've been testing it now, right? Because I told you guys when I touch people, like, I avoid contact with people, so then I don't have any weird dreams or like I see anything, right? So I've been testing it now. That's why I did that thing with my brother, right? Um, I haven't been seeing anything now. Like, I can't read anybody at all. So like it feels good now. So when I went for the 127 concert, I was like, I don't feel the pain type thing. Like I can still sense things, but like if I were to bump into somebody or if I'm in close proximity to somebody, like I don't feel the pain anymore. Like it's gone. It's like it disappeared. Right? And like when I went to sleep and I woke up, I didn't see anything. And I was like, oh my god. The only thing I saw was the spirits that were nearby that wanted something, right? But other than that, like I felt good. So like awake wise while I'm at work, like it feels good. Like now I can act normally, right? Like if someone goes for a handshake, I can do that. Or like you know how like everybody's a fucking hugger, like I can go in for that. I can do those things now. So when he comes back and then he fixed my hands, I can't get used to doing that. Anyways, Flowers is happy because he can spend quality time with me. Stupid. Um it's good too that he turned it off too, because now when I go to edit now, I don't have to worry about fucking up any type of electronics I touch either. Like I don't have to worry about something overheating or like any type of shit if I rest my hands on it too long. Anyways, I don't know if you guys care about that, but that's why I can't read. It's been a while now. I don't see it as a bad thing. It's just that it's getting. I don't want to get used to how things are right now because it'll go back to being how it was before. I'd read you guys if you wanted me to, but I can't. He told me not to. I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, he's too lenient with me. He could cause me problems later. I don't think I want to fight with him, you know? Mm, okay, I'm getting really sleepy now. I want to go to bed. I gotta edit. And I've been wearing lipstick for too long. That can't be good. Hmm. It's 10:37, 10:38. I've been recording for 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's time to go now. Unless you, like, oh man, I didn't want to upload a 3 hour video. I ate already, that's why I came late. Mm-mm. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else because I'm like my body's powering down now. I need to sleep. Mm. If I have to go, Flowers would tell me. But then I'm gonna take forever to upload this. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna see only one of next. I'm not gonna be there when Sketch is back. She'll be like, "Why I'm back and you're not here?" And I'm like, "Well, I had a concert to go to. I'm gonna get to go to two before she comes back." had lots of other dreams too, but they're not for you guys to hear. I want to tell Christian them, but I don't think I'll have time, or if I can remember them though. I want to tell him as soon as they happen. Like the one this morning, I haven't had such like I see the weather. If it's a premonition type dream, and it looked really nice. I'm starting to think I won't be able to experience it in real life. It's just a dream, right? Everything Lisa talks about is crazy. Nobody ever listens to me, right? See, like with this, I can touch this without having to worry. I'm gonna make sure flowers doesn't touch it though. I'm gonna be like, don't touch. Everything you touch ends up exploding. I changed that light twice. I had to change out the battery on that once. I don't know if it was his fault for that outlet. Yeah, I should get going now. I want the video to cut again. It's cause I'm sitting, this keeps like sinking down. I'm going now. It's 10:42. I've been awake for too long. I'm gonna be up all day tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna clutch editing.